Hey everybody, welcome to Yarnyak. So I'm Kimmer.
I'm Carla.
And we are coming to you from the stash in Baldwin, Wisconsin. Welcome to our show Yarnyak, where we yak about yarn and fiber crafts and, whatever we feel like talking about that has to do with yarn and fiber crafts.
All the things.
Tonight we are yakking about yarning and why it is so good for you. So super good for you. It's easy to say that, but I actually have evidence that it's good for you. So that's right. That's what we're talking about. That's what's going on. But first, what are you working on, Carla?
I just finished a wrap for our charity, and I am working on the self-care set.
Oh.
But right now,
this very moment,
I have some fingering weight yarn that I'm just putting in a thing.
Oh, that's that Queensland Perth in a block stitch. You're crocheting. It's beautiful.
I am doing that.
That's the color,
and it's squishy.
Rooney Island, I think. It's so pretty. That's my favorite color of that.
It is.
Canberra. Sorry, my bad.
No worries.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's, you guys, this stuff has way more squish than, now I want to bribe a sock knitter that we know to make me some socks for the shop.
Yeah, it is really squishy. I was very impressed.
So any of our sock knitters that are speedy, there might be something in it for you. I have big feet though, be warned. So anyway.
Well, what are you working on?
I actually have been doing a lot of unfortunately, sometimes when you own a yarn shop, you don't get to yarn very much, and this has been one of those weeks for me. I've worked on the YPC. I've finished a wrap. I finished writing a pattern for wraps, and I knocked out a couple of self-care bags, but I haven't gotten any like big projects going. I started another wrap, and I like it, but I decided I would leave that one at home and just work on it when I'm at home, because I tote a lot of yarn back and forth with me, and sometimes I get tired from doing that. So I'm not really working on anything specifically in particular right this minute, right now. I spent most of the day working on administrative tasks.
Boo.
Listen, we got to have the administrative tasks. This is what you guys like me for, okay? Because I do the administrative tasks that give us the shop.
She does the things
that give us the shop.
That's right.
That's what I was doing today. Very boring, not fun for you guys, but you benefit from it.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, that's what's been going on. There's a lot of things happening at once right now. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So, but mostly, I'm just happy it's wintertime. Everybody's busy yarning their little fingers off for all kinds of reasons, and had a lot of people come in lately and curl up on the couch and just be like, yeah. So that's what it's there for, and I'm really happy to see it getting used. So anyway, that's what's going on. So if you ever want information about what we're working on, less so me this week, but you can always jump on our website at www.shopthestashbusters.com and click on Yarnyak at the top of the page, and then you can see, patterns or links or yarns or whatever, if we've posted anything for the current episode or not. And you can also see little bios about me and Carla, if you dare, if you're curious, and Instagram photos of past projects that we've been working on are available there too, as well as you check out the website. There's lots of interesting things on the website, stuff to read, stuff to do, and you can have a peek at that. So anyway, yarning and why it's so good for you.
So very much.
Let's start here. So why do we often feel the need to justify yarning and its related hobbies, like yarn collecting, which is a completely separate hobby, no joke, from actually yarning? And I will tell you why. Because many people require creative materials at hand in order to have the spark of inspiration. And at the very same time, those same people can require a specific yarn for a pattern that they've seen or an idea that they've had that isn't in their yarn stash. That's a real thing that can really happen.
Absolutely.
Do some of us need to be a little bit more judicious about our yarn stash? Maybe, but we're not going to argue about that tonight. We're going to talk about why it is so good for you to participate in this extremely, extremely healthy craft. So we're not going to get into the whole yarn collecting thing. Just know that it legit is a completely separate thing from actually yarning. So historically, feminine connotation was assigned to fiber crafts. Not too long ago, within like a few hundred years, this very feminine connotation was ascribed to yarning. It used to be, before that time, that largely men did most of the fiber crafting, the weaving, rope making, a version of knitting, even knitting socks and garments was largely men's work.
Interesting fact, my father taught me how to darn socks because he knew how, and he taught me how to do that.
So it is definitely kind of a newer, in the grand scheme of things, newer thing for yarn crafts to have such an extreme feminine connotation. And here's why that's even more interesting, because also historically, the same time period, what evolved was that this anything that was deemed feminine or deemed to be a feminine hobby or task, the value of it was downgraded. It was less than masculine. Feminine became less than masculine. Instead of just, feminine, masculine being different, feminine became less. There's all kinds of places where you can go with that too, and we're not doing that tonight either. But just know that. So it was kind of a da-da-da-da-da-da. You can see the timeline, Therefore, it was feminine. It was disregarded as frivolous, and it did not have worth. I don't know who decided that, but you know what I think? That's what I think. It has a lot of worth, and I'll tell you why. Probably because, for whatever reason, it didn't have as much financial value. In the United States, especially, if something does not have immediate monetary value, then it's considered a waste of time. Time is money.
Yes.
And if it doesn't make you money, then why are you doing it?
Right.
Now, this is an idea that should be soundly beaten out of everyone's head quickly, but things take time. So we're just going to say that, and you can just kind of put that in your juice box and, percolate on that while we talk about the rest of this. So there's a thing that happens in yarn crafting that I just kind of wanted to stick in here. And then again, I'm going to move on. People will often say to someone, "Oh my God, that's so cool," or "That's so pretty," or "You should sell that," or "Do you sell that?" or "Will you make me that? You should sell that." This idea that you must monetize your hobby, your craft, your joy in order for it to have value has got to go, because you do not have to do that. You by no means need to do that. Some people do that because they want to, and that's fine. I'm not judging those people at all.
No.
But you don't have to monetize your joy. And yarn gives us joy, and studies can prove it. So we're going to move on to why yarn is so super good for you. I want you to stop apologizing to yourself, your spouse, your mother, your sister, your friend, your aunt, your cousin, Facebook land, anybody, for yarning or buying the things to do yarn. Stop apologizing. Apologizing allows murky feelings of shame and guilt into your brain for something that brings you joy. Joy is a complicated thing. It is actually a combination of emotions and hormones that make us feel joy. And we feel it on different levels for different reasons. But yarning brings you joy. And we need to stop poisoning our joy with these feelings of shame and guilt that are non-existent and were not even created by us. Okay, they were created by somebody else. And we know how we feel about those people. So let's stop doing that. And here is why. Do you want to go?
I will. Yarning is creative. Obviously, yarning is creative by the very definition. What we often overlook are the benefits of being creative in a creative state of mind. Creative expression provides a distraction, a feeling of control, a sense of accomplishment, pleasure, relaxation, and relief from stress, anxiety, or even physical pain.
Truth.
It also gives a sense of community. I mean, yarning is a community. There's a whole community of like-minded people out there that enjoy touching the yarn.
Absolutely. Crafting with it for sure.
Right.
So yarning alone has its own benefits, but yarning in a community does as well.
Right.
Separate benefits.
Yarning with others provides camaraderie, connection, and a shared sense of purpose. Creating art in a community setting causes our minds to release a particular set of chemicals normally associated with deep connection, like a long hug.
Have you ever given someone a hug that for more than 10 seconds
Yep,
and then more than
exactly.
30 seconds? That's what you
Exactly.
get from yarning.
Yep.
That same feeling that you all described to me in different words, that's
Right.
that feeling.
Right. Yarning, especially for charity or gifting, releases hormones in the brain that make us feel the group of emotions that we call joy. All of the things. The ability to feel joy is a key component of healing from depression.
That's really, really important, you guys. I want you to just think about that and remember that for later.
And it's super important, especially in the deep, dark winter. I mean, you know,
The one thing that you will find if you ever go and try to and seek help for depression is that is like the thing that defines, helps define whether or not you are depressed or a person is depressed. It's because they are not feeling any joy in things that normally give them that.
Right.
So it's very interesting that the one thing that yarning can do for you is the one thing that was immediately attacked. Your ability to feel joy in it, taken away by shame and guilt.
Yep. Nope.
No. Yarn is super tactile. I'll tell you why that's important. It's a tactile activity. The tools, the materials, the environment that we choose to yarn in all affect the benefits of yarning. The first thing that most of us want to know about a fiber is, how does it feel? Is it soft? Is it scratchy? Is it lofty? Is it tight? Is it hard? Is it rough? Is it bouncy? We want to touch it. We have to know how it feels. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people are hesitant to buy yarn online unless they're already familiar with that yarn. They must touch it. There's a science behind that. There's a science to it. Texture and emotion are too involved for this show. But for a quick example, we associate soft with things that are young and precious and need to be soothed, touched, and protected. Isn't that interesting? We like soft yarn. It makes us soften. So it's why we can be so particular about our fiber, our hooks, our needles, our tape measures, our stitch markers, even our bags. All aspects of yarning affect our mental and physical state and how we manipulate those materials based on how things make us feel. A bright colored bag can put you in a better mood and make you feel happy. I mean, go figure. Weird, right? Women are influenced by their environment and the things that they touch and the things that they see. Have you ever noticed, this is really interesting. Have you ever noticed that the word feeling is both emotion and physical sensation? That is not a coincidence because those two things are completely conjoined in your brain. They work together. The emotion is tied to the physical sensation. The physical sensation causes the emotion. It's like a chicken egg argument. Which one came first? Who knows? But they're joined together. And so I found that really interesting when I had that explained to me. So it turns out that surfaces, temperatures, and other attributes of textures can have a significant impact on our emotions. If you feel blecky, change your feeling, what you are feeling, try changing that. Yarn can help you with that.
Absolutely. Yarning also appeals to our need for order.
Oh, God does it. God.
It allows us a measure of control over an emerging concept or idea. Some yarners need complete and exact order, while others prefer a less structured path. But regardless of where we start, yarning focuses on integration, a coming together of texture, color, and patterns that form to visually demonstrate our ideas and emotions.
Yeah, they make our feeling. They make it. That when you create it, you make your feeling. Isn't that cool? It's so cool, and it's so much deeper than when you would ever even think. So we're going to start tackling some of the daily health benefits. Anxiety. This has been proven repeatedly in studies. Repetition can soothe anxiety. Some types of OCD are an extreme form of the brain's desire to soothe itself by repeatedly doing things in a certain order. Now, I don't want you to, go get all OCD or whatever, but yarning is a healthy mechanism to launch that relaxation response that people with that particular condition crave. By repeating the stitches, yarning starts the brain's relaxation response, which means that by continuously repeating stitches, a deeper relaxation effect is achieved in our mind that is very similar to the effects of doing yoga for like long-term exercises or long-term meditation. It's an interesting scientific byproduct that happens literally from repeatedly doing those. Do you ever notice that you will crave what we refer to as a simple or repetitive project when you're stressed out? You're like, I just can't, I just want to do something that's really like easy over and over. That's what you're looking for, is that literally it's called the relaxation response. You want that trigger in your brain tripped because something else outside is stressing you, and without knowing why, that's what's going to calm you down and make you feel better.
Right.
And that's what is doing that. For sleeping, yarn improves sleep quality. One study that asked people with long-term insomnia to try knitting found that 100% of the subjects reported improved sleep after incorporating knitting into their daily routine, and 90% of them were able to discontinue sleep medications. That's a lot of success. That's a lot.
Huge.
That's huge. Yep.
That's me. I sit down at night. I have to sit.
I think a lot of us do.
I have to sit in a spot that's not comfortable because if I make a nice comfortable spot,
the relaxation response kicks in and Carla's snoring,
I
right?
am done. Yes. Yep. Stress. So fiber crafts reduce stress. They focus, which lowers the blood pressure, providing a creative, productive outlet, encouraging a physically meditative state, which allows the brain to process stimuli and emotions that build up, and creating a mental barrier from those daily stresses, especially before bedtime.
You ever hear that expression, my cup is full? Or my cup, I have to dump my cup. I have no more room. That's exactly what yarning can do for you. It literally helps you dump that crap back out and just
and it does for me, for sure. One researcher asked 60 women suffering from various levels of stress, from mild to severe, to either work with fiber, write, or meditate. Her results showed the textile workers had the best results at both stress reduction and mood repair, nearly twice the benefit. The research posits that this may be because fiber crafts combines the benefits of writing and meditation along with creating and producing, thereby more fully exercising yet calming the brain system.
It's like, it's magic. It's honestly, scientifically magic. It does two things that seem to be the opposite. But together, the two things are like, both things are what your brain needs to work on the body.
It works on both sides.
Yeah, it's so crazy cool.
Yep. According to another study, scientists found that 73% of people who knit at least 3 times a week feel significantly less stressed. In addition, these people can sort their thoughts better and thus achieve mental clarity.
Now, that is a very key thing to remember, especially regarding the next physical benefit of yarning, and also keep in mind that this study, though it was done with knitting, it's firmly believed that it doesn't matter if you're knitting or crocheting, even macrame, because all those types of fiber crafts use the same parts of the brain.
Probably tatting as well.
Things that are even weaving similar to that. There are some fiber crafts that are a little bit more structured in a different way that wouldn't quite achieve the same benefit. But the idea is that if you're using both of your hands, and you're working with fiber, you're going to achieve this benefit. So the next one that goes hand in hand with that is the dementia connection. You may have heard this already, but I'm going to touch on it here. It has been proven, firmly, resoundingly proven now by multiple studies, that fiber arts can reduce the risk of dementia. Multiple studies have linked knitting and crochet to postponing age-related memory loss. One study showed that knitting may reduce the chance of dementia by as much as 50%.
That's amazing.
That's a huge percent. It is because it keeps several different integrated pathways in the brain active. So even if you can do almost nothing else, you can sit in a chair and do yarn, and it's going to keep your mind sharper longer. Now, it's not going to take and give back to someone who has dementia or Alzheimer's, but it may prolong further loss. And it's something that you can do now to prevent the onset of even mild, what is known as, senior dementia, even a mild form of that. You can delay. Yep. You can delay that or even stop it. So that's definitely a huge benefit. Blood pressure. I can attest to this. Yarning has been proven repeatedly to reduce blood pressure. The effects may carry over time and may improve your blood pressure numbers. We heartily advocate trying fiberglass as part of a larger cohesive plan to lower your blood pressure and reduce stress levels. We do not advocate yarning in place of medical care. Can I just say that again really loud? We do not advocate yarning as the medicine for all of the things we're talking about, but only as part of a larger care plan. You should never, ever stop taking medications prescribed by your doctor or not see a doctor if you have a medical issue and just use yarn instead. However, you can certainly use yarn in addition to, along with, other medical remedies.
Great. So knitting can help break unhealthy patterns as well. It's also a great way to keep yourself busy and distracted, yet focused and mindful. It is a kinetic yet restful activity when you need a little quiet time, but also can be done in a social setting, allowing you to interact a little or a lot with a group of people. It washes the mind and body with serotonin, causing you to feel. It's especially important when you're dealing with addiction and trauma recovery, to be able to be part of a group, but not having to be part of the group and be on. Exactly. You can be there and be with everyone and
have a connection.
Yes. Yep. And people are more apt to maybe just let you be there quietly.
Maybe maintaining, people are more apt to maintain a little bit more of a social boundary. You have a perfectly acceptable, plausible reason why you might want that because you're doing something.
Right.
But at the same time, you're with people.
And you're part of
part of a group.
Right.
That also comes into play with depression. When we are involved in creativity, we feel that we are living more fully than during our more mundane parts of our day. And again, that goes back to what's happening in your brain while you do it and the scientific and the emotional responses that those things are doing to the rest of your body. So you know that what you want to do is possible, even if it's difficult. And the focus causes a sense of time to kind of disappear. You all know that. You're sitting there and you're like, holy crap, I've been at this for 2 or 3 hours and I need to go to bed.
Shoot, wow. I'm late for work.
Yeah, or that. Stitch by stitch, though, you link yourself to something bigger. You feel part of something bigger. Even if the project you're working on is just for you, it doesn't matter. Other people do this. Other people think this way and feel this way and understand it. And it's such a long history that you are reproducing, this craft that you're reproducing, that there is a sense of connection there, like a human connection. That connection alone can help ward off blues, a feeling of being tied to other people that do this. So there's also studies that are working on showing about kinetic learning. So they've shown repeatedly that many learners have difficulty with auditory only learning. How many times have you had to go sit and just listen to people talk and not do anything? How many of you are yarning right now while I talk? Yes. The ability to perform certain types of fine motor tasks while you're listening can improve comprehension and retention by a significant amount. Yarning improves cognitive function, which we've already talked about, allowing us to process and use what we've learned better, and increases our ability to listen longer. So that is the best way that you can listen to a lecture or learn a new language or anything like that, is if you have something in your hands that provides you with an activity that balances the brain.
So think about fidget toys, which are huge with people and with children and whatnot. We even
it's the
have
same thing, except for that you are producing. So that actually adds an element to the brain.
Absolutely.
Because you are creating something.
When we go to training, they even have them there at
should
work.
Let you have yarn.
Yeah. I'm advocating for the yarn.
So all of this, what we're trying to tell you is that there are medical, scientific, emotional, healthy reasons why your yarn habit is good for you. It is nothing to be ashamed of. It is nothing to feel guilty about. It is absolutely something that you should do, be proud of, use the way you need to, and don't apologize. Do not let anyone steal your joy about yarn. Don't let anyone do that to you. There is so many, many, many benefits. More people should do it. The benefit is gained by the simplest of yarn projects too. The simplest thing. You can make a small, simple thing. You don't have to be amazingly gifted at it or anything like that to gain these benefits. So we just thought you guys should hear why it feels so good and why that is good. So keep your joy. Keep yarning. If you were stranded on a deserted island, Carla.
Oh no. Yes.
If you were stranded on a deserted island, would you rather have yarn or food?
Yarn.
Because
I can use yarn to get
food.
Which brings me joy.
It's my same answer. Exact same answer. So
I can make a
you don't
net.
even have to ask me a question because that was my exact same answer.
Noose.
I can use yarn to get yarn. Give me yarn.
Right? Give me yarn.
It's harder to get yarn than it is to get food.
Right. I don't want to have to make it.
Okay. Well, we hope you found tonight's episode of Yarn Yak helpful and informative. You can ask us questions anytime by emailing askyarnyak@gmail.com. Your question could be an episode of Yarn Yak. You never know. Be sure to visit our website and subscribe and ring the bell on YouTube to see past Yarn Yak episodes and be notified when we upload new episodes and tutorials. You can visit our website as well and tune in next week for episode 18. I'm not going to tell you what the title of that is right now because I don't know for sure. Sometimes it just happens suddenly. Also, you can also check out our Buy Me a Coffee. The address is in the description. We appreciate any support anyone wants to give us for our show here in dealing with some of the expenses and so forth. I love, love, love when people pitch in a little bit. It makes me feel like a lot of this is worthwhile. So anyway, tune in next week. We'll see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. for our next episode of Yarn Yak. Happy yarning, my friends.
You're the best.
Yarn.